WSAV is your local election headquarters today. Georgia voters returning to the polls, this time for runoff elections.
Both Georgia and South Carolina elections head to a runoff if a candidate doesn't get at least 50% of the votes.
In the race for the Republican nomination for governor, current Lieutenant Governor Burt Jones is facing businessman Rick Jackson.
Burt Jones won over 38% of the votes in the primary election compared to Jackson, walked away with about 32%. Now Jones hoping to come out on top again after the polls close. And of course, all the votes are counted.
And WSAV's Jillian Coles is live. She's outside of Jones's watch party happening in Jackson, Georgia. Jillian.
Andrew, Tina, Burt Jones is gearing up for his watch party right here in his hometown. Now, he comes into tonight with a bit of momentum with endorsements from both President Donald Trump and Governor Brian Kemp in this race. Now, Jones says there is nobody that has a more conservative record than him, from cutting taxes to being what he calls strong on social issues. He says he's the only one with legislative experience from his time as Lieutenant Governor and in the state Senate. Just days ago, Jones told WSAV he hopes voters look at who is going to make change happen heading into the polls.
Those voters who didn't vote for us last time, they ought to, when they look at the candidates, they ought to look at somebody that they know, that they've had has a proven track record, that's not just making a bunch of empty promises, that are actually showing where he's said he's going to do something and followed through and did it, and that's been my record.
Now, WSAV also spoke with Rick Jackson just yesterday, who is very confident as well. He also has been vying for those voters that maybe didn't vote for Jackson or Jones in the primaries. But we'll keep you updated as those votes come through tonight. Reporting live in Jackson, Jillian Coles, WSAV News 3 on your side.
Jillian, thank you. Now, the winner of tonight's runoff will move on to compete against a Democratic candidate and former Atlanta Mayor Keisha Lance Bottoms in November.
In the race for U.S. Senate, voters are going to choose between two Republican options, Congressman Mike Collins and former football coach Derek Dooley. The winner in that race is going to face Democratic Senator Jon Ossoff in a November election that, no matter the candidates, is definitely expected to be close.
We are also watching the Democratic race for the 1st Congressional District. Republican Buddy Carter gave up that seat to run for U.S. Senate. Amanda Hollowell and Joyce Griggs are fighting for the Democratic nomination. The winner of that race will face Republican Jim Kingston in November. WSAV's Ben Katko sat down with Hollowell to discuss her vision for Georgia's 1st Congressional District ahead of tonight's runoff results. Hollowell says her campaign is focused on affordability and policy solutions across the district's 15 counties in Southeast Georgia. She points to affordable housing, good-paying jobs, and support for colleges as key issues impacting local communities.
Meet people who are talking about what our farmers need, what our folks in, here in the Southeast District need from around affordable housing, around good paying jobs. Even our technical schools and our colleges need support, especially our HBCUs, because we do have one in the 1st Congressional District. So folks are having more of an economic conversation.
Hollowell also says many voters are looking for accountability from the current administration rather than focusing on dividing lines around party affiliation.
Now, in the primary election, Hollowell got 25% of the vote. Griggs got about 34%. WSV's Sarah Smith joins us now with live exactly how Griggs may be feeling today. Sarah?
Yeah, I'm at one of the many polling locations here in Savannah where the Army veteran is hoping her supporters will come out, cast a vote for her, and push her to that general election this November. Now, this isn't Griggs' first time on the ballot. She most recently ran for this position in 2022. She says living and working in this district has helped her to better understand what residents need and want for this community. One thing she shares with her opponent is a passion to address the rising costs facing most voters.
Cost of food is higher, gas is higher. One day is 50 cents more, 30 cents more. Health care is still the same thing. It's just really sad. This affordability issue is real, and we must recognize it for what it is, and we must work together.
Now, Griggs tells me if she wins the Democratic nomination tonight, she hopes to reach out to people of all backgrounds, ages, and even political parties to learn what they need from her moving forward. We'll have these results coming up tonight on News 3 at 11. For now, live in Savannah, I'm Sarah Smith, WSAV News 3, on your side.
Thank you. Some other runoff races to be decided tonight. Georgia Lieutenant Governor, Secretary of State, State Insurance and Fire Safety Commissioner, State Labor Commissioner, and State School Superintendent.
And as a reminder, of course, South Carolina has a short early voting period ahead of the June 23rd runoff. Early voting only open tomorrow. That's Wednesday, June 17th and Thursday, June 18th. Voting sites will then be closed Friday for the Juneteenth holiday. Major races in that runoff election for the Lowcountry are the race for governor as well as attorney general and state representative for right here in our area, District 1.
And you can find more information on voting and candidates on our website. Simply go to wsav.com/electionhq.
And happening right now, WSAV's 4th annual Schools Out Summer Food Drive. And our team is going to be making several stops at Food Lions all across the region.
Yes, we are collecting food and items for children and families in need. Today, we're at the Food Lion, 3500 Highway 17 South in Richmond Hill. And that is where we find WSAV's Ben Singer and other members of our team.
And things are going really well so far. We love this location here. We're right off of Highway 17 in Richmond Hill. People have been so generous. So before coming into today, we had about 800 pounds of food raised so far, and we found piles here waiting for us. So we've easily got more than 1,000 pounds of food. This is all for the summer feeding program to benefit Second Harvest of Coastal Georgia. This was the most recent donation just a few moments ago. It doesn't take a lot to make a really big difference. A generous couple came by and dropped off some rice. We have Stephanie Brown with Second Harvest of Coastal Georgia with us again today. Thank you so much for being with us. Why don't we talk a little bit about impact? We know that this is to meet the need for kids who would normally rely on free and reduced lunch during the school year. The school year is over. So what impact are we hoping to make here?
Sure, yeah. And this is going to help all the kids that are out of school. They're not getting their meals that they typically get during the school year. So we're doing about 7,000 lunches a day and about 3,500 breakfasts every day.
7,000 lunches, and those are in multiple locations. Give people an idea of the scope.
Yeah, so we've got 53 locations across 7 counties. So we're really hitting the road running with all those meals.
We've got a gnat problem here. We don't smell, we swear. It's just like they're just attracted to maybe all the food. So when we talk about, people who are at a store and able to, spend a few dollars and drop off something in the bin, we love that. We also love for people to scan the QR code and donate directly to you because you all can really stretch that dollar.
We sure can. We've got the purchasing power and the donations coming in. So for every dollar, we can put out 5 meals. So those are not only feeding the children, but they're also feeding the parents, the grandparents, the siblings.
Is there a sort of a poundage, or or is there a dollar amount that would get us through the rest of the summer? That's probably a little too specific, but I've always been curious about that. We're looking for thousands of pounds of food.
Yeah, thousands of pounds of food. So, by standard, a pound 1.2 is the weight of a meal, a typical meal. So we've got a lot of pounds to make up when we are not in school. So we do the evening meals during the school year. The school's doing the breakfast and lunch. So, we're trying to cover 3 meals during the summer.
We're going to help you do that. Thank you so much. We appreciate that. Thank you to all of you at home who are going to make a donation right now by scanning that QR code. If you'd like to come out and see us in person, we would love to see you. We are at the Richmond Hill Food Lion right on Highway 17.